Snow started to fall.
I'm ready to leave. I'll see you both at Great Waterton. It's starting to snow, James. You should check the weather with the yard manager.
James didn't want to be told what to do by a freight car, especially in front of Thomas and Stanley.
I'll decide what we do. The weather doesn't bother me.
So James buffered up to his train and steamed slowly out of the yards. James saw Edward in a siding. He was wearing his snowplow.
The ice has made the line ahead very slippery. It will be hard to shunt your train up the hill.
James was surprised he was in the hills. I must have taken the wrong track, he thought.
I've had to clear snow from lots of lines.
James was worried.
We need Edward's help. He could couple up to the front of the train.
But James didn't want to be told what to do by a freight car, especially in front of Edward.
I'll decide what we do. I can manage on my own.
So James puffed slowly towards the hill. Hector could see a snowslide had blocked the line.
Onwards, onwards! Don't slow down, James! So James applied his brakes. The train smashed into the snow.
And it stuck.
Quiet!
Please, Hector, how can I deliver my train on time?
Hector was happy to help.
I'm a very heavy freight car. We must race down the hill at full speed. Then we will biff the train right through the snow.
What a good idea.
Okay, James, go!
Hector and James raced faster and faster down the hill. There was a mighty biff, and Hector pushed the train right through the snow.
We did it, Hector! Well done!
James, Hector, and the train arrived.
You made it! We were worried!
I wasn't worried. Hector helped me all the way. Stanley and Thomas looked surprised.
You can always rely on a good freight car.
Hector was happy to have helped, and James was happy to have a new friend.
Now, I need you to collect Lady Hat and bring her to the surprise concert. You must be here by tea time, understand?
Yes, sir.
You must not tell her where she is going, or it will spoil the surprise.
Don't worry, sir, I won't.
At last, Percy puffed into Maithwaite Station.
All aboard. Sir Topham Hatt has sent me to take you on a special trip. Oh, that sounds lovely. First of all, I'd like to go to the duck pond.
Percy was worried. He was supposed to take Lady Hat to the bandstand. That was her special trip. Percy knew there wasn't time to visit the duck pond, but he didn't dare tell Lady Hat. He thought she might be cross. So he puffed to the duck pond. Lady Hat stood by the duck pond. She liked watching the ducks. They quacked and quacked. At last, Lady Hat was back on board.
Now, Percy, I'd like to see the bluebells in the woods. It would be the perfect end to my special trip.
Percy was more worried than ever. Percy and Lady Hat arrived at the wood. Lady Hat wandered off to admire the bluebells. Percy waited and waited. Suddenly, Thomas puffed up to Percy.
Where have you been, Percy? Sir Topham Hatt is cross. He doesn't want Lady Hat to be late.
Percy didn't want Sir Topham Hatt to be cross. He didn't want the surprise to be spoiled.
Don't worry, I'll have her there on time.
So Thomas puffed away.
Percy, is something the matter? I'm taking you to a surprise. That's your special trip. Oh, I love surprises. Why didn't you tell me? Because I thought you'd be cross with me if I told you what to do. And now we might be late. We must hurry.
So Lady Hat climbed quickly on board, and Percy raced away. Percy had arrived with Lady Hat on time. The band started to play. Lady Hat was delighted.
Oh, what a lovely surprise. Thank you for getting me here on time, Percy.
And thank you, Percy, for keeping it a surprise. Percy was pleased. Together, Thomas and Percy happily tooted their best friend's whistle.
My favorite days are when we work together.
Then, Neville arrived to collect some freight cars. He was excited.
The brass band is arriving at Brendam Docks. Hooray! I like the brass band. So do I, but I'm never asked to pull them. If you go to the washdown now, you'll soon be as shiny as a trumpet. Then maybe Sir Topham Hatt will ask you to collect them.
Percy was excited.
Thomas, you ought to pick up the brass band from the docks. And don't forget to have a washdown, thank you.
Thomas was worried. He knew Percy wanted to pick up the brass band, but he didn't know how to tell Percy that Sir Topham Hatt had asked him to do it. Then Thomas saw Percy puffing back to the quarry.
Look at me, Thomas! I'm as shiny as a trumpet!
Thomas didn't know what to say. He didn't want to upset his best friend.
Sir Topham Hatt's sure to choose me now.
This made Thomas feel even worse. He puffed quickly away.
Where you going, Thomas?
I have another job. Percy tooted his best friend's whistle, but Thomas couldn't toot back. Thomas was late for the brass band. They were waiting on the dockside.
All aboard!
Then he saw some mail cars. He knew Percy would soon come to collect them. Percy arrived.
Hello, Thomas.
Percy saw that Thomas was collecting the brass band. He was very upset.
Why didn't you tell me, Thomas? I tell you everything.
Thomas felt terrible. He tooted his best friend's whistle. But Percy didn't whistle back. Thomas felt worse than ever. He puffed out of the docks with the brass band. Then Thomas saw Percy. He was waiting at a signal.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you I was picking up the band. I'm busy. I have to pull the mail. I have something to tell you. I'll pull the mail for you. Then you can go and pick up the brass band and take them to the docks.
Percy beamed from buffer to buffer.
Thank you, Thomas.
He was very excited. Later, Thomas puffed into Great Waterton. Percy was waiting for the band. You are my best friend, Percy. From now on, I will always tell you everything. And they tooted their best friend's whistle for everyone to hear.